right, once again, we are here at Everfree Northwest. I am Tech Rat along with
Joe Stevens
for the Equestrian Inquirer and Everfree Radio, and we have another amazing guest here, an incredible voice actor who you may know as the voice of Shining Armor, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Francis.
Hello, everyone. hello.
He is here. I have to act out my kissy faces or something, and I feel like I'm completely outclassed because not only are you Shining Armor, but you look like Shining Armor. Oh my gosh!
And you have the attitude.
What a glorious human being
you
you
have
look
the
like.
attitude of Shining Armor as well. It's kind of scary, actually.
What, am I quite regal, you say? I'm
Quite regal. Yeah. And the
I
scarf
think the
is
scarf
helping.
adds to
The
it.
scarf
absolutely.
definitely helps. Gives me that little bit of debonair.
Absolutely.
Did you just come from the golf course, or is that later in the evening?
That's later. We're gonna do a little dusk round. Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
And so, well, let's just go ahead and start off. We've been having some fun chatting with you, and this is kind of your first con, isn't it?
It is my first con. I went to Anime Evolution very briefly in Vancouver, which is a very different sort of setup. You guys have everything just so planned and so organized, and there it was kind of everything was all over the place. It was really scattered. So I did a couple panels and some autograph signings there, but it really wasn't anything like this. You know what I mean? And also the fans are so scattered. There's so many different fans from different shows that this is the first of a very specific nature, you know, which I really like because everybody really knows what they like and you know what you're getting into. And yeah, it's the first one like this.
Right.
All right. Now, obviously, Shining Armor is not the first character that you have voiced, and you've done some other characters as well. The reason why you were at that convention, as a matter of fact, just for the people who may not be familiar with your past work, what are some of the other characters you have played in the shows that they've been on?
Well, some of the fun ones. Well, obviously, Bray Burnett here in MLP. Hey, Appaloosa. And then, you know, Visions of Escaflowne, or Escaflowne de Landau was a really fun character in the series and in the movie, just because he got to be so psychotic and crazy, and I got to show such an insane side of myself, which you don't really get to do all the time, you know? And then X-Men Evolution, I was Iceman. Obviously, Monster Rancher was a lot of fun. Genki, we did like 100 episodes. It blew my voice, as I told at the panel earlier. That was a lot of fun. What other ones? There's a few that are coming out now that I really wish that I could talk about because they're such unbelievably awesome shows. But yeah, those are some of my favorites.
And so the latest one, or I guess it's not really the latest one, but the latest one as far as Pony is concerned is Shining Armor. But there was a lot of speculation. I think that originally, before the season 2 even came out, we saw these pictures at toy conventions of Shining Armor, and everyone's saying, "Who is this? Who is this?" And we saw Cadence, we saw Shining Armor. What was the process of developing that character and auditioning and creating who is Shining Armor?
Well, I got the character description and a picture of the character. Which is usually what happens when you get an audition like this. So I kind of looked at him. I knew that he was in my age range, and I'd listened and watched some of the shows before because I know some of the voice actors and I enjoy the show. So I kind of knew the pacing and I sort of knew the feel of it. And you know, in the character description, they break down the Royal Guard and how he's been away and how, you know, Twilight is his sister and all this kind of stuff. And so I just knew that I had to bring kind of a piece of myself to it. You know what I mean? Because he's a very real character. We were talking earlier. You know, a lot of the characters in My Little Pony are very character-y. You know, so that, you know, you get snips up there and you know, they're very sort of their own thing, right? Where Shining Armor is kind of that straight male, you know, very straight ahead, very straightforward, says what he means, you know what I mean? So I felt like when I had to come to the role, I sort of, you know, I brought it down here. Twilight, it was just everything's very genuine from him, you know? Like, he doesn't lie. He would never lie. He has no reason to lie, you know?
He's a knight in Shining Armor.
He's a knight in Shining Armor. Well, hey, that works, yeah. So that was kind of what I brought to it. I just wanted to make him very straightforward, very genuine, and I wanted everything for him to say to have a lot of meaning and weight behind it.
Right.
All right. Now, when you were voicing the character, did you have the entire script in front of you? Did you know what was going to be happening to him throughout that season finale of the show and where it was going to go?
We got the first episode first, so like the first of the two. So I kind of had an idea where it was going. I'm trying to remember if we got both. Yes, actually, yeah, we got both. I got both of the scripts at once. So reading through it, I went through the whole story. I was like, what the hell's happening here? Oh my gosh, right? And I actually, you know, going through, I really didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know that he was under. I don't want to spoilers, but I guess everyone knows now.
I think there's a statute of limitations on spoilers for these shows at this point.
Right,
so
exactly.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Shining Armor kills Dumbledore, I believe, is how it went.
Oh no.
That's in season 3.
That's
That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler.
Yeah. Sorry. What was take me back?
We were just saying, like, did you know going into that show what was going to happen to the character?
And no, I didn't. When we got the breakdown, it was just a breakdown of sort of how he acts, his character, and then I sort of figured it out as I went through the script. So once I got through it, I had an idea that I could kind of give him an arc to kind of fool the audience. And even, I rewatched the episode a couple days ago. I was fooled. You know what I mean? Like when he has that big breakdown and he kind of goes at Twilight for ruining his wedding. You know what I mean? I was really feeling it. I was like, it kind of has a high because you think Twilight's doing the right thing, and then you get that low, and I was right there invested with it, right? And so kind of I gave that arc, and then so I didn't know really ahead of time, but once I got a lock on the script, I tried to make that definitely a part of the arc.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so seeing all that development with that character and with that kind of a new character, did you come at it with the awareness of what the community had gotten to at that point, or were you still kind of unaware of the impact a new character would have to such a phenomenon?
That's actually a very interesting question. As I mentioned before, when I was in the room, I'm in there with a whole bunch of beautiful, talented voice actresses. I was having a great time.
Surely not as beautiful as you, though.
No,
I'm convinced that you walked in and said, I'm shining armor.
And everybody else in the room just must have.
went right around the studio, right?
Yeah.
I kept everyone safe.
Everybody swoons as you walk through the door.
There's a shining armor. There's music and doves.
No, they all know how much of a goofball I am, right? So I wish that was the truth. But sorry, take me back to the question again.
There was such a huge following, and I think that it was. Yeah.
Yes. So what happened was when I was in the room, and I told the story earlier, I was talking to Shannon. She says, there's a huge following for the show, and I really didn't know how big the following was. So I decided that I was going to tweet a little something out and say, I'm very happy to be on the new season of My Little Pony playing Shining Armor, and getting stuck in a room full of talented women isn't that bad either. And so I sent this tweet out, not knowing how big the show was. And later that day, I got a message or a call from my agent. He said, "Hey, have you been on Twitter?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I just got a call from Hasbro. You gotta take that thing down right now." He just kind of like lost it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lost. Like apparently they called and they said, "Look, this is a really big deal. You can't. This is a new character, And I had no idea that
The character hadn't gotten out yet. They hadn't
character
talked about
hadn't
it.
Been released. Only people had seen the art and these posters and stuff, right? And so, and as I said earlier, I got this after I tweeted it out. I got a tweet that said, your tweet just got posted to Equestria Daily. Get ready." And
that's about the way it works.
The flood, it was just insane. Like there was just so many people tweeting at me and adding me at that time. It kind of blew my mind. So going in, no, I didn't know the kind of impact that a new character like this was going to have.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take it for a moment from when you were just hearing about this online on the internet to when you walked into this convention this weekend and got to see the fans, see the community in person. Mm-hmm. What kind of experiences have you had here at the convention so far interacting with the fans?
I think I was just so surprised at how genuine the fans are, you know what I mean, and how generous, a lot of G words. I came in and it's just the overwhelming just support and love and all that kind of stuff really kind of blew me away. And I really didn't know that it was going to be so bountiful. There was just going to be so much of it, And
even with knowing, with the Brayburn and everything before.
Even knowing, because I'd gotten a little taste of that, but I'd never really seen it, So coming here and just getting a taste of the love and just being brought into the community, it's like I don't even want this convention to end. I'm loving it. I want to hang out with you guys all the time.
We feel the exact same way, and in particular, this scarf that you're wearing right here. Yes. Obviously, this must have been a gift of some kind.
From a fan, yes. Indeed.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, yeah. A fan is this girl. I can't remember her name. It was given to me by her friend, but I think she'd made a few scarves for some of the actors. Peter, myself. I think Lee felt bad because he didn't get one, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness! No, that cannot be possible.
At 5,000 Twitter followers, though. Apparently, he'll get one. But yeah, so I was. The gifts have just been awesome, And since Shining Armor is kind of a newer character, people haven't really had time to really fall in love with him. You know what I mean? So I hope that this is going to continue. I really like it.
Well, we certainly hope that we do see more of the character. Obviously, I know you can't talk about any of that, but the fans, they went crazy for him, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, and it would be my honor to come back and do stuff. So, Hasbro, bring him back. Shout out to Hasbro, bring him back.
Yes, we'd love to bring it. Yeah. Well, I just, real quick on the character itself, I think it continues to fascinate a lot of people when they bring in major characters, because the major characters themselves are pretty well set in stone.
Right, right.
With a series this popular, when you introduce new major characters, the background ponies, the side characters,
and not just major characters, but family members of major characters. Suddenly,
Totally.
Twilight has a brother.
Yeah, and so seeing that. with Tara Strong and everything being your little sister now. Talk about that for
You're
a second.
Twiley.
Twiley, that was it was an honor. You know what I mean? Like coming into something like this and being I didn't know that the character was such a substantial, that he'd been a toy and that he was part of the family. I mean, I got to know that then, but you don't expect for new characters to be released like that, So it was an honor. I mean, for them to choose me and be a part of literally the My Little Pony family. I mean, I couldn't be more grateful.
And we've heard from some of the VAs that when you perform these shows, that one show is usually 1 week in terms of production.
Yep.
With this being a two-parter, was it a 2 weeks or was it one very long week?
Oh my goodness, actually, yeah, no. It was one long day. So I think we did
One long day.
We did a 9 to 1 session, which was the first episode, and then we sort of had lunch, talked about the second episode, talked about how we wanted to bring the character to his final arc. So yeah, we had a little bit of preparation and stuff in lunch, and we did it all in one big, long, sweaty, gruesome day.
So from walk us through from knowing you were Shining Armor to developing that character to actually doing this one long day. How much time and how challenging was that?
Not a whole lot of time. We auditioned for it about a week and a half. All of us in Vancouver, anybody sort of my age or has my kind of voice print, we all went in. I think maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days later, after it was kind of even out of my mind, they called up and said, "Hey, you booked it, and you're going to do it." And I knew that the character, I kind of felt an attachment to the character, you know what I mean? Like I felt like my voice would do well, so I was hoping that it was going to happen, and I had a feeling that it might. So then I think probably about maybe 4 or 5 days before we actually recorded, I'd got the word that I was going to be Shining Armor, and they sent me the scripts and stuff, and that's when I was able to start breaking them down and just deciding my choices and things like that. So I think it was, it wasn't a whole lot of time. I think I figured it out and we'd recorded it and even auditioned the whole process in a matter of 2 weeks.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that's quite a challenging work, and obviously it paid off. Obviously, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, so much fun. Yeah. So much fun. Yeah.
And so after seeing all this art, all this fan, have you had a chance to look at a lot of the Shining Armor fan art or the Brayburn? I think there actually might be a huge following for Brayburn.
There could. I haven't seen enough of it actually. I mean, I've been looking around and going to the vendors and stuff. But if anybody has any that here at the con, I would love to take a look at it and sign it if they need anything, or just give myself to them, because I appreciate what they're doing. I just want to give back.
And so, if you have a chance to say, we're going to wrap it up here a bit.
Yeah, sure.
It was tons of fun talking to you. If you have one thing to say to your fans, which there are many, and they adore you, I'm sure. I'm adoring you right now. I'm just loving sitting next to you.
Don't touch the merchandise. Don't do that.
Is there something you want to say to the many fans out there?
It's very simple what I want to say, and I want to say thank you. Thank you, because without you guys, we don't even have a job. You know what I mean? So we get to come here and we get to be guests and we get treated by like gold by you guys, and without you guys, we're nothing, right? So thank you.
And so, from Shining Armor himself, thank you very much. And we know that you're gonna not say any spoilers on Twitter anymore. No more.
No more.
I promise. You've learned your lesson the hard way.
So where can we find your spoil-free Twitter account?
My spoil-free Twitter account is at Drew Francis 604. So at DREWFRANCIS 604.
And are you going to do any weird shaving or haircuts if you get to a certain Twitter account like Lee?
I want to do something. Send me your suggestions. And the one that I can do that doesn't spoil my acting career.
Please do not make him shave off his glorious mane.
No, I can't see you corrupting this wonderful do. Please don't suggest that.
Don't do the do. I do the do.
Something else. Anything else.
But yeah, send your suggestions and we'll definitely figure something out. A charity can be involved or something zany. Tell me to do something zany because I want to.
That would be fantastic. Well, once again, for Everfree Northwest, we've been sitting here talking with Andrew Francis. Thank you again so much for taking some time to speak with us. This has been a wonderful experience, and we're hoping you're enjoying the convention. Once again, for the Equestrian Inquirer and Everfree Radio, I am Tech Rat.
And I'm Joe Stevens.
And we'll be back shortly.